Hello students, I hope you all are fine. In the previous video, we have started scientific management. We have done features of scientific management and 4 principles of scientific management given by F.W. Taylor. Now F.W. Taylor has also given some techniques of scientific management. Techniques of scientific management means how scientific management can be applied on the organization. So what are the techniques? So in this chapter you have total 9 techniques which we are going to study one by one. The first one is functional foremanship. Now this word is made up of 2 words, as you can see, functional and foremanship. Now what is the meaning of function? Function means a type of a task or a job, and foreman word you have studied in levels of management. When you have done levels of management, we have seen in the lower level the posts that we create in the lower level are known as supervisors or foremen. So basically these techniques, basically all the techniques given by F.W. Taylor in scientific management are for the labor or the lower level. We are whatever techniques we will study, they all belong to or they all are applied on the lower level or on the laborers also. Especially this one. Here the work of foreman means the supervisor, lower level manager. The work of lower level manager is divided, their functions are divided. So this technique, it is based upon the principle of specialization. Principle of specialization. Specialization means, we have already learned this word in principle of division of labor. What does the division of labor principle says? Division of labor says that the work should be divided into smaller tasks and each task should be given to a particular person who is capable of doing it. So in the same manner, functional foremanship is also based upon principle of division of work, or we can say principle of specialization, because this principle of specialization also says that the work should be divided and should be given to the specialist. Specialist means the expert, the person who is expert in doing that particular work, because no person on this earth is perfect. No one is perfect enough to do each and every task with full efficiency. Each person is capable of doing some or the other task very properly or in a very good manner, but none can do each and every task perfectly. So whatever work we are having, we divide it into smaller units and then we give each unit to a particular person who is a specialist in doing that particular work. So here, functional foremanship, in this technique, F.W. Taylor has divided the supervisory level. He has divided that particular level into 2 departments. First is planning department and second is production department. Planning department, as you can say from the name itself, you can understand, in planning department only planning is done, how the work will be executed. And in the production department, the actual work is done. Now each department has 4 officers. Here also. There are 4 officers in planning department and 4 officers in production department. First one is route clerk. Second is instruction clerk. Third is time and cost clerk. And fourth is discipline officer. So first we will see this, then we will do the production department. Now the planning department. What does planning department do? Planning department, all the 4 officers of planning department, they plan the activities to be performed. Route clerk. Route. What do you mean by route? Route means the way of doing a job, or the way. For example, if I ask, how will you move from Jeend to Delhi? So you will say we will go via Rohtak, or we will go via Gohana and Sonipat. You will show the route through which you will reach Delhi. In the same manner, whatever objective we have to fulfill, whatever work we have to do, the route clerk, he decides what method or what way we will choose to achieve that objective or do that particular task. So the route clerk decides the way or the method or the activity to be performed to achieve our objective. Clear? Second is instruction clerk. Instruction clerk, he gives instruction, as the name says. Whatever route clerk decides that this work should be done in this particular manner, then instruction clerk, you can say instruction card clerk actually, he prepares cards, he prepares some written form of the instruction to be given to the production department, because they are just doing the planning part, they are just doing whatever activities are to be performed, they are just planning about it. The actual work will be done by the production department. So here route clerk decides how the work will be done, in what manner, in what way, and the instruction card clerk, he prepares the instruction to be delivered to the production department, then how the activity will be done, what other steps will be taken in that doing that particular activity. Time and cost clerk. You can understand by its name itself, time and cost clerk. He decides in doing this particular activity, whatever activity they have decided, in doing that activity how much time should be taken and how much cost should be incurred. Means he will decide that doing this particular activity in a particular manner, how much time is required. If the production department is taking much time, more time than decided here, then the necessary actions will be taken that why the work is delayed. So he decides how much time should be given to that particular activity and how much cost. That work should be completed in how much cost, because if the cost is increased, then as you know, if cost increases, the cost of production increases, it lowers our margin, profit margin. So cost of production is very important. Now here it comes, we have studied two words, effective and efficient work. Effective work means completing work on time, and efficient work means completing work in cost effective manner, means cost should not be more than whatever we have decided. So this clerk, he sees whether the work is done effectively also and efficiently also. So he decides the time and cost to be, how much time and how much cost should be there. Discipline officer, he sees if discipline is being followed, that all the people are doing work in a disciplined manner, in an orderly manner. If somebody is breaking any rule, then he is a person who will see that no rules should be broken. So all these have these type of these roles. You will see in your books, each person has whatever role they have. It is clearly given in your book, and I have also explained, so you can easily understand. Now comes the second department, that is production department. In planning department, the planning has been done. Route clerk decided the manner of doing work. Instruction card clerk made all the instructions to be followed. Then time and cost clerk decided the time to be used and cost should be incurred. And discipline officer just looked after the discipline to be followed in the organization. Now the actual work is done by the production officer. Now what they do? First boss is gang boss. Second is repair boss. Third is speed boss, you can say. And fourth is inspector. Now what they do? Gang boss. Now here what is the meaning of the word gang? Gang means a group of workers. Now as you know, this technique is applied on lower level. Lower level means supervisors. This is the supervisory level. They are boss over whom? over the laborers. We have studied top level, middle level, lower level, and the workers. So this functional foremanship, this all the production department and the planning department we are talking about is the lower department, and they are boss over the workers. So the gang boss is the boss of the workers. So what happens, the workers are divided into many groups, and each group has a gang leader. Gang leader means the person who is the leader of the whole group. Now what does this gang boss do? This gang boss is the leader of that particular gang. So the instruction card clerk, in planning department we have seen there is an instruction card clerk. What does he do? He prepares the instructions to be followed by the workers. Now gang boss is the leader of the workers. So that the instruction card clerk, he hands over the instruction card to gang boss, and those instructions are to be followed by the workers. So the gang boss who holds that instruction card given by the instruction card clerk, he instructs the worker how the work is to be done, because the instruction card clearly has all the instructions mentioned there. Everything is mentioned that how the work will be done, and gang boss holds that instruction card. So he instructs the workers how the work will be done. So he is the boss, he is the leader of the workers who has all the instructions given by the instruction card clerk. Okay. Next is repair boss. Repair means he sees if there is any problem in a machinery. For example, any worker comes and says that particular machine is not working, or particular machine is leaking, or oil is coming out, or any problem with some machinery or any other thing. So repair boss, it is the role of repair boss to get that machine repaired. If there is any problem in the production, if there any machinery or anything needs to be repaired, then repair boss is the person who is responsible for this work. The workers will inform him, and he will look after that particular problem and solve it. Next is speed boss. Speed boss. What does speed boss do? The time and cost clerk, he has given a particular time that this work should be completed in this and this time. So the speed boss checks whether the work is done in that particular time or not, because if the time is not followed, if they are taking much time, it means their speed is less, they are working very slowly. So if the speed is very less, they are working in a very slow speed, he is the person who will look after it, who will see that the work is done properly. Okay, so speed boss checks the speed of the workers. And inspector means inspect karna, check karna. He checks whether the product is made according to the standard or not. Whenever a product is made, a standard is set that the particular product should be of this standard, of this color, of this weight, everything. So the inspector checks whether the product is according to the sample or not, or the product which we are producing, it is in accordance with the standard we have already set. Because if it is not so, then our order can be cancelled, our product will not have a good image in the market. So it is very important for the inspector to check whether the production is being done in accordance with the standard set. So this is the work of all these 4 officers. So in functional foremanship we have seen that there are 2 departments, planning and production. Both have 4 officers, which the planning department sees all the planning work and production departments see all the production work. Is that clear to you all? Clear? Here 2 things are to be mentioned. When we are comparing scientific management with the fundamental principles of management, there comes one question, you have to note it down. Sometimes there comes this question that functional foremanship is like which principle of Henry Fayol? So it is like which principle? Division of work. Because division of work principle says that work should be divided into smaller units. And here also we are dividing the work into 8 different parts. So it is in accordance with the principle of division of labor. And if the question comes that which principle is not in accordance with the functional foremanship, so the functional foremanship is contradictory to which principle of Henry Fayol? Unity of command. because unity of command says that one person, one worker should get command from only one senior. But here workers are getting command from 8 boss. They have 8 boss, 4 in the planning department, 4 in the production department. So here the principle of unity of command is not followed. Okay, so these two questions can come sometimes in exam, so you should know that this principle goes well with division of work but doesn't go well with unity of command. Clear? Now we will see what is the next technique. Now we will see the next technique, that is differential piece wage system. Now what is the meaning of this? This is a very good technique given by F.W. Taylor. This technique helps a manager to differentiate between efficient and less efficient workers. There are two types of workers in an organization, in every organization, efficient and less efficient. Efficient workers are those workers who work with full efficiency. They always do their work in time. But less efficient workers are those workers who don't give full output. Means if, for example, we have decided a standard output. Standard output means standard output. Standard output means that in a day we have to, for example, 20 units. Means we have set a standard of output that in each day each worker should make 20 units of product. Whatever product we are making, if we are making a toy or if we are making a tiffin box, whatever product we are producing, each worker should produce at least 20 units in a day. This is the standard output. This standard has been fixed after so many experiments, that how much time is taken by one unit and multiplying it by the time the worker works. So 20 units is decided that 20 units one worker will make. Some workers are working very efficiently, very nicely, and they complete 20 units in a day, even more than that. But some workers are wasting their time. They are working very slowly with a very little speed, and they do not complete this much standard output in a day. So what happens? The workers have wage system. Wage means in per day they will be paid according to the units they produce. For example, if we are not following this system and we have given we are giving wage according to per unit. For example, our rate is 5 rupees per unit. Means if a worker is making 20 units, he is getting 100 rupees per day. And if a worker who is making, for example, 15 units, he is getting how much? 75 rupees. Okay. So this is the rate we have fixed. But according to this system, if a worker is producing more than 20, he should be paid more than the at a more rate than the less efficient workers, because there should be some differentiation. So this technique says that there should be a difference between the rate at which an efficient worker is being paid and an inefficient worker is being paid. So according to this system, there are two wage rates. One is high wage rate. Here we have only one according to the older system, but according to this system we have two wage rates. High wage rate, this is for efficient workers, and low wage rate, this is for less efficient workers. Now what happens? Now if you see the difference, according to this system, now if taking this example, if a worker produces, for example, 20 units, he is getting 20 into 5. We have high wage rate, for example, 5 rupees, and low wage rate is 4 rupees. Here, if a worker is making 20 units, 20 is the standard output. The high wage rate means the efficient worker is completing his task on time. He is being paid 100 rupees. But if a less efficient worker, if for example he is paid, he has made only 15 units. So if we have been following the traditional method, we must have paid him 15 into 5, 75 rupees. But here, according to this wages system, we pay him less because he is not working with full efficiency. That is why we pay him only 60 rupees. Means 15 rupees less than the original page rate. So how does this system helps? This system helps in this way that if less efficient workers, they try hard so that they complete the stated output on time. So this system motivates the less efficient workers and rewards the efficient worker. Rewards means efficient workers who is doing work on time, it rewards them, it is giving them appreciation. And for the less efficient workers, this system, it helps as a motivator because they try to achieve their output on time so that they are being paid on the high wage pay. It's clear? Understood? So these two techniques we are doing in this episode, in this video. In the next video, we will do the remaining techniques. So just go through, because both these techniques, function foremanship and differential piece wage system, both are very important. All are important, but these two are especially much of importance. That is why we have taken this first. So just go through it, go in the book and try to understand it. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.